voice of college football, breaking down the game we love with the best bloggers, broadcasters, and writers in the industry on a daily basis. And, of course, analysis from myself. And we go to the betting world today. We got Rafael Esparza on the line from MyBookie to break down some of the odds concerning the AP Top 25, which was just announced the other day. Championship odds for the college football playoff and the conference races. Rafael, how you doing today?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So college football has become pretty much some would say a two-team system with Alabama and Clemson. If you broaden it out just a tad, Georgia, Ohio State, and Oklahoma have dominated elsewhere, and that's been tightened up to those five teams pretty much for the last 4 or 5 years in regards to championship play. As you look down the AP Top 25, I would expect that those are the teams that are in play once again.
Yeah, it's funny how everyone's making a big deal about the AP 25. But let's face it, it should just be Oklahoma, Clemson, 1, 2, 3, Alabama, Clemson, 1, 2, 3, Alabama again, Clemson, 4 again. Just keep on going down the list, just those two. It's really hard to make a factor on who can knock out those two teams. Either it's going to be Alabama and Tua, Clemson, if that monster offensive line and defensive line. I think it's just going to be really, really impressive to see who's that third or even fourth team besides Georgia, LSU, maybe even Oklahoma, that can dominate and see if they can hurdle those two teams of Clemson and Alabama.
Absolutely. So as you look down the list, who would be those most likely candidates?
I mean, of course, everyone's going to say Oklahoma because what they've done in the past. And I have a new quarterback, new pretty much offensive scheme. Maybe Ohio State just because of them. Michigan, people love to want to talk about them. I'm going to throw a sleeper out there, and this is a huge sleeper, and we'll probably break this. But why not throw in the Oregon Ducks? Let's give them some huge love. I mean, they had a horrible season last year. Let's face it, the Pac-12 had a horrible season last year. Well, USC had 5 wins last year. If you're looking for some value, why not take the Oregon Ducks at 45-1? I think their offense is going to put up huge numbers, and I think their defense is going to improve. But everyone's betting Georgia at plus 750, Ohio State to win it all 9-1, Oklahoma 13-1. But again, the creme of the creme, Clemson plus 180 to win it all, and Alabama plus 220. But if you want long shots and stuff like that, I think the Oregon Ducks, I'm really excited to watch them play this year.
Rafael Esparza on the line from MyBookie, talking college football and the odds for 2019. So my play on that would be, I've got little confidence that Oregon's going to win a national championship, but getting to the college football playoff is another matter because once they've got to get there and get through 2 of those, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, whoever shows up, I don't see that happening. But to get them to the college football playoffs, what are those odds? Because I can see them getting through the Pac-12.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a comfortable, like you said. I'm not saying that they're going to beat those teams, especially the Alabamas and all that, but let's just let them win the conference first of all. I mean, Oregon is great odds at plus 290 to win the conference in general. I mean, so why don't you take the shot at that? Again, they're not going to beat Alabama, they're not going to be Clemson, but if you can get to the conference final and maybe make it to the Final Four, you can hedge off that nice 45-1 ticket you have on their first game. So I think the Pac-12, again, it might be a little bit better this year than last year and all that, but I don't want to say jump on Oregon. I don't want the listeners to say, oh, they're going to win it all. But let's just face it, it is going to be between Oklahoma and Clemson. But I take some numbers, take some shots, and some really nice long shots because, again, I think you can middle and hedge towards if you make it to the dance of the Final Four.
So we got Rafael Esparza on the line from MyBookie. And talking about championship odds, both in conference play and for the whole shebang here in 2019. So as you look down the list, okay, you got Oregon. You're leaning us that way at 45-1, and those are tremendous odds. Again, I would love to see the college. I can see them getting to a college football playoff position again, but getting through the next 2 games is a whole other matter. Who else stands out to you in regards to either being really good odds or maybe somebody to stay away from?
I think Georgia at plus 750 is really good odds. I'm not sold on LSU this year. I know a lot of love, especially on the AP poll. I can't believe LSU was that high, but I like Georgia. You can get them at plus 750. Not sold on Notre Dame at all. I think their schedule, they had a brutal schedule last year. Their schedule is not as tough as it was last year, but I think their defense is going to take a small step backwards. Notre Dame. And Notre Dame's 42-1. I think that's why they're 42-1. I'm not fading them, but I was thinking take a stab at Georgia again at plus 750, and maybe Texas 28-1. The Texas said when they won last year, they said, "Hey, we're back." Maybe they are back. They've had a great spring practice. I heard their defense is really, really quick, especially that linebacking core. Texas for 28-1. Why not?
Okay. Good stuff on the odds. Again, if you want to play, you can go to MyBookie and make your plays right there for the 2019 college football season. Anything else in play? Again, I don't have the list in front of me. That is a good talking point here.
Total season wins. It's very good thing that we do almost all these games, all these teams put up on total season wins. And I'm going to throw out one that everyone's probably going to laugh at me. Kentucky Wildcats. There's 6 total season wins, anywhere between 6, 6.5 out there. We have 6. It's the juice is minus 150. And they lost a whole bunch of people. Let's face it, the running back, defense, wide receiver. They need to fill a lot of holes. But one thing that I like about this team is they won last year. And what's in the locker room right now? Winning last year. They won their bowl game. These kids, I heard they're nothing but ecstatic at practice because they won last year. Winning cures everything. Now you're telling me all I need to do is win 7 games and cash my over ticket? I think Kentucky's going to surprise people. They're not going to have a talent like last year, let's face it. But winning cures everything, and right now they're winning up in Kentucky. So I'm going to take a stab and take the Kentucky Wildcats total season wins over 6.
Okay. Anybody out there seems a little high?
Notre Dame at 9. I'm not sold on the Fighting Irish at all. I think they're going to have I think their defense is going to be lacking. I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball, especially on that running game, because I think their offensive line took a huge step backwards. I don't like Notre Dame. I would say bet them under, which I can't believe the public is betting them over. I think Touchdown Jesus, his money's coming in or something like that, because I'm not sold on Notre Dame. I think that's something that we're going to look at. And maybe Miami under 9. They have a tough game against Florida State this weekend. Florida this weekend. The first game on Saturday. That's going to be a tough game. I don't like them. I think they go 8 wins this year.
Yeah, the deal with Notre Dame, I just think that's pretty much on the money in regards to the 9-3 estimate there. Now, Clemson, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they're sitting at 11, if I remember.
Yes, they're 11 at minus 120, and Alabama is 11, and the juice is minus 165. So you can tell where the public is betting on overs on that one.
Yeah, so Alabama's a bigger favorite to go undefeated than Clemson. So I'm thinking Clemson's a great play because
I couldn't agree more.
If they go undefeated, most likely, they're not losing 2 games. So you push and you get your money back if they drop a game against a Syracuse or Texas A&M. That's what's a certain likelihood of happening is you push it. But for them to lose 2 games and for you to lose your money, I just don't see happening.
And you're laying smaller juice. I couldn't agree more. I would have flip-flopped, but you would have think Clemson 11 juice over minus 116, Alabama juice minus 120. Because SEC, I mean Georgia, there's LSU, there's other teams that the Alabama has to go on a road and play that maybe they have a hiccup, maybe Tua gets hurt or whatever. They're not a deep team as we've seen past Alabama teams. But I couldn't agree more. Seeing Clemson lose 2 games, I don't see it on their schedule.
Yeah, well, Clemson, Alabama's not going to have to see Georgia this year, and these are obviously regular season odds. But LSU, Texas A&M, Auburn, a few possible upsets in the mix there. That's going to wipe away your earnings right there. Got Rafael Esparza on the line from MyBookie. Rafael, we appreciate you stopping by and setting us up with the best plays for the AP Top 25.
Thanks for having me on, and I enjoy the first 2 games. This is when college week 1 is actually this weekend. Come on, there's 2 games, college week 1.